Alright. Let's see how far behind I am on the stream. Wow. Come on. Show my thumb. It's more than 30 seconds here. There it is. Oof, that's a long one. Alright, so it's about a 30-second delay. Alright. That's good to know. YouTube. 30 seconds. Let's see here what Twitch has. Twitch is playing other music. Ooh, there it is. Oh yeah, Twitch is way behind. What's going on here? Catch up, Twitch. Go live. Did Twitch stop streaming? So it's streaming, but if you get to the end, then it just kicks you out of the stream. That's so... what is going on? It says it's streaming, but if you get caught up, it stays at 3... why is it staying at 3 minutes? And if I refresh, what is going on, Twitch? Now it's live. Okay, I don't know. I don't understand Twitch. Whatever. But it didn't upload the... Alright, well, I don't understand you at all, Twitch. You seem to be live, though, so I'm not going to fuddle around anymore. We're just gonna move on. And, hope that Restream does this stuff correctly. Which, by the way, Restream doesn't have... It says it's going to have a watermark, but it then doesn't have a watermark. So, I guess there's no watermark for... So, whatever. If you use OBS with Restream, there's no watermark. That's what we've learned. All right. Well, welcome to what I'm doing. No image on Twitch. I'm not sure why, because it shows up on YouTube, it shows up in OBS. I don't know why it's not putting the thumbnail in. Or no. Or do you mean no image at all? No video. Dashboard. Oh, I saw the live stream before. Let's see, if I go to my own channel, I can watch it. I think I was before. Average stream bitrate too high. What does that mean? How does having a too high of a bit rate, how is that a problem for you, Twitch? That feels like a good thing. Why don't you... I don't... Okay, go to... Yeah, I don't know either. I could see both of your messages from YouTube and from Twitch on OBS. I'm using Restream, and it's combining the two streams, so it should be posting both of them. But it's telling me that Twitch is saying that the bit rate is too high for Twitch. So I don't know why that would be a problem. That seems like a dumb issue. And I do not know how to turn that down. That's probably an OBS setting somewhere. I remember setting it. So... I don't know how it works either. I kind of don't care. I mean, this is just me messing around anyway, so it doesn't really matter what we're doing. It doesn't really make a difference to me. This is kind of all just a test for me to stream more in the future, so I'm just learning as I go and dealing with it from there. So what we're doing today is we got a bunch of parts I bought on Facebook Marketplace, and we're going to build a computer out of it. It's probably going to take 2 parts because I don't have a GPU yet. So we're going to get through the motherboard, the cooler, the case fans, all of that stuff. And yeah, so some of the stuff I bought new, like the case fan, because the case fan that I had was too tall for the case, so I got a new fan. I got a new cooler for that. I've been using this case for 10 years for my main computer. I built a new computer, so this is the old case, and the biggest problem I had with it was overheating. So we're gonna put a lot of fans in it to hopefully fix that. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when I'm done. It's also possible that having a more modern CPU will also help with it. As before, I was running like an... Let's see, the old motherboard would have been a 4000 series Intel, so like 10 plus years old. So that was probably not helping. But yeah, what we got here is a Tuf Gaming X570 Plus Wi-Fi. Turn it that way. With a Ryzen 7 5700X 3D. I got the motherboard, the CPU, and these actually I was gonna use different RAM, but I think these four are gonna, the ones that I bought with this are just gonna go right back in it. It worked out. These seem to be the best combination together. So we're gonna just put those back on it. So I got the three main things you need to get a computer together. Unfortunately, we won't be able to put an operating system or go through BIOS today until I get the GPU, because the 5700X3D doesn't have integrated graphics. So they're essentially these ports are worthless on the side here for the HDMI and the display port. So those aren't going to do any good for us anyway. But let's start off with the most important part, and that is putting all of the stuff on the motherboard. Let's do the low stuff first. So let's work our way from the bottom up. And let's see, this is the 500 gigabyte SSD, so that's where our operating system's going to live. By the way, we're going to use this as we're going to put Bazite on it. So if you've ever used Linux, we're going to put Bazite on it. It's going to mostly be used for light gaming, video. It's going to go under my TV out in my living room. It's going to replace my Xbox, my original Xbox One that's been sitting out there for 10 years or more. That basically I just use to watch Netflix once in a while. if that at this point, I mean, it mostly just sits out there. So we're gonna put this out there in place of it, and it'll play some games natively, right? And then I'm hoping that we'll be able to play some other games. Oh, nice! That's great. What are you gonna build your own PC, or are you looking to the sort of buy one? You can't go wrong to like start off with even just like a laptop or something. I mean, even some of the stuff is getting pretty solid that you can do most gaming on almost anything, you know, at least for a period of time, right? You know, the longer you play a game, the more heat you're going to build up inside of it. But it's nice though nowadays that we're getting to a point where you can almost play games on anything. I mean, GTA 6 could even launch on like an iPad at this point. Like, I would not be surprised if they don't have that on there within a year of its first launch date. Because it's the way it is, it's crazy, you know. And when you're dealing with such tiny screens, nice. I like that you're gonna build your own. That's nice. Unfortunately, now that you're on YouTube, there's much more lag than there is on Twitch, which is probably why YouTube's working better than Twitch was. So this is an i4. This is an AM4. So this is the old generation for the CPU. So they're an AM5 now. They're probably about halfway through the AM5 generation, and AM6 is probably be out in 2027 or 2028. With the way RAM prices are, I think that a lot of stuff is going to get pushed back further, because I think they'll be holding off on coming out with the next generations of consumer goods until the AI situation fixes itself. But so a lot of people are going to get a lot more out of their current products than they probably thought they were going to. I'd say at least another year than more than they thought they probably were going to get. All right, so now we're going to put the second SSD in. So that was a 500 gigabyte SSD that goes right in this little slot here. Yeah, feels weird, I know. Just remember when you put these in, there's a standoff. It goes on top of the standoff, and then the little screw goes on top of that. You don't want this to be bent. It shouldn't look curved in any way. This is used too. I got this out of somebody else gave me this. I got this off Facebook Marketplace too. So, and it's a little bit curved, which tells me that it was installed somewhat improperly in their previous motherboard. So we want to make sure they're nice and straight. Little curve's not a big deal. This is a little bit of curve, but it just means that when they put it in their other motherboard, they did not set it correctly on here. This is going to be our next SSD, and it's going to go in this spot here. I do have to get a new silicone pad for the bottom of this, because the one that was on here was disgusting. So that goes right on here. That it just helps cool the SSD. But so we're gonna put this one's a 2 terabyte again. Both of these came out of the same other motherboard, so we're gonna put both of those in here. These are 3.0 x4, so they're going to be a little slower than this motherboard can handle, because the motherboard can do 4x4 SSDs, which means these are going to write at 3,000 megabytes per second instead of 7,000 megabytes per second. But at a certain point, things are getting so fast, it doesn't really matter. You know, compared to a hard drive, that's already 3,000 is already 10 times faster than literally any hard drive could possibly be, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. And that's not going to affect gaming in any way, because nice. You got it all planned out already. Do you use a program to plan it out? Did you use like PC Picker or something? What is an NZXT C850? Let's look it up. I know what NZXT is. The case for my computer is an NZXT. I kind of like the case. It's for my other computer next to me here. It is a 5 Flow 5 or something. It's called C850. What's the... Wait. Oh, gotcha. Okay, it's the PSU. Gotcha. Man, you have a big plan. With the course. You know exactly what you're looking for, though, huh? That's awesome. Because, I like the Platinum PSUs. The reason I bought a PSU is because I could not find a Platinum PSU on Facebook Marketplace. I was trying to find one, so that this whole thing was made out of, like, basically secondhand parts, or you know, people trying to sell things. And I could not find one that wasn't like a gold. I like the Platinum. I just want I don't know if it makes any difference. It probably doesn't, but when you're like buying one and it's like $160 for a gold and $180 for a platinum, and it's like that, if that $20 saves my, you know, $400 motherboard or my, you know, like I'm not gonna like that. That doesn't feel like the thing to waste your money on, like, or to skimp on. Like, just get the thing that feels like it's gonna be the most work the long term. Let's see what the Corsair frame. Nice, I like the frame. Modular mid tower. Are you doing AIO, or are you gonna put a case fan or a GPU fan on it, or a CPU fan? Are you doing AIO? Are you doing water cooling? I'm not a fan of water cooling. That's not my choice, but you know, it's way easier nowadays than it used to be, and so I totally see why people would do that with their radiators. That's exactly right. Like, I'm like, you, for the $20 difference or $30 difference or whatever, it's like, buy the best one. I mean, the titanium like super high ones get a little expensive, but like, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I just spent $400 on a GPU and $400 on a motherboard, another $400 on a CPU. Like, you know, don't let the PSU thing be the reason you're the rest of it doesn't work right. That's how I feel about it. Like, it just doesn't feel worth it. Okay, I got those in. I'm gonna have to come back and get a silicone pad for this. Okay, that's the next thing. Let's open up the cooler here. Now, this case, there's no way to put an AIO in it. At least not that I can think of. I mean, maybe you could do it along the side here. We'll open up the case in a second, but this is really the only, like, this is like the top of the case or the front of the case right here, in terms of like where the fan AIO would go. And this is only two 120 millimeters, so you'd have to have a very specific AIO to do it. So we're definitely not even thinking about that in this. So instead, I have this low profile ID cooling. There we go. IS77XT black. The fan is underneath the CPU, so I haven't used this before, so it'll be interesting to see. This video will be really short if there's no yeah, don't cheap out on the PSU if you can avoid it. This one I cheaped a little bit. I got a Lian Li. I don't know if that's good or bad, but the YouTubers seem to like it, so I don't know if that's because it's good or if because they've been paid to use Lian Li stuff. I don't really know, but they seem to be okay with that brand. So, but for this, I'm not as concerned about it. But for my other computer, I was much more concerned. I don't remember what I have, but I spent a lot of time staring at PSU specs that I probably don't fully know. Alright, remove before installation. Oh, does this not have... Oh, where's the box? Here's the box. This better have thermal paste, because I did not buy any. Expecting that it would have it. And it does. What does it have? Frost X45. Alright. I mean, it's almost all the same in some ways. We'll take this off, but I like the I kind of liked that the fan was underneath the cooler. I don't know how that's going to work. Oh, it's going to suck the air. That's interesting, because it's going to... That's going to be weird. So it's going to pull the air. This is part of why I bought it. Because I have a second build I'm going to do. Yeah, Leon Lee can be a little expensive. For the PSU, it's kind of, I don't know, hit or miss. This is interesting. So I don't know if this is a reverse fan, or if it's just because it's gonna pull the. This is the radiator, right? The CPU sits down here. This is the radiator on top, and the fan is underneath. But the way the fan looks with the frame out here, with the bracket on the outside here, implies that the air blows this way. So it's going to blow towards the CPU. And I am curious to see what we end up with, like, in terms of, like, cooling and stuff, when I test, like, when I put some weight on it to see what happens. Because you're basically going to be blowing the hot air back onto the motherboard, unless it's just a reverse fan, but it doesn't say it is. So if it's not a reverse fan, I don't know, it just feels kind of weird that it would take the air up and then pull air through and blow it across the motherboard, but whatever. If it works, it works. Like I said, we're going to use this for minor, but the main reason I want to know what this is for this build is I have a second one of these that I bought for another build I have, which is going to be crazy because I'm going to do that next, but maybe you can't see it, but I'll give you a hint. There's an RX 7900 XTX over there that's going to go into a Fractal Terra with a 5800 X3D CPU in an ITX build. So we'll do that after. We'll do that one later. I don't have all the parts for that yet. It's a little more complicated because it's ITX, so I didn't have as much of that type of stuff on hand. It's another AM4 though. Basically for that one I was trying to build what would be the best. I was like, what is all of the best AM4 parts, right? That was what my goal was. Like, what's the best AM card? What's then the best AM motherboard for that card? And then, and then I'll build from there out, right? Like, so I got the best AM4 motherboard. So then what's the, best GPU that will use the maximum of that motherboard, the best RAM I could find that would, that motherboard could use, and so on. So that one's going to be like, what's the most powerful thing that the AM4 platform could do in an ITX format, at least. And I always wanted to build in the I've wanted to build in the Fractal Terra for a while, but it just is. ITX is just more expensive than ATX boards, and you literally get half as much board. You don't get any of this. You just get that. So it's like, you don't get as much board. So you only probably usually get the one, maybe a second. In an ITX, you might get a second M2 slot on the back side of the board. But all right, so now we got to take off the old coolers bracket system, because, or do we? Let's see here. Let's find the instructions. No instructions? Is that this? No, that's for the fan. Oh, right here. Installation guide. Alright, which of these brackets, because they aren't labeled, one of my pet peeves is label the bags. Can't cost that much more to label a bag. But anyway, Alright, so the Intel is these. So we don't need those. So let's put them over there out of the way. And the AMD is... The AMD, well, this is the back bracket. So this goes on the back no matter what. Okay. Well, either way, none of that is compatible with the current hardware that is on here. So we're going to take all of this off. And this is an interesting... Oh, good. I can just do it by my hand. I don't even need the screwdriver. This is an interesting sort of idea. Like this is, look at these big honkers. These are some big honking things. I don't know why I can't do it by hand. Ooh, nope, that one is in there too tough. Okay, let's get the screwdriver. Like, I had to go out and get my actual ratchets to do this. Normally my little set of my little screwdriver set's enough, but this thing has some big old nuts. Come out of there. Okay, whatever. That one doesn't want to come out either. Maybe they'll fall out as soon as I undo this one. Oop. And that one fell out. Stuck in the bracket. Yeah, this is what happens when you buy secondhand. Actually, to be honest, this board was very clean. I hope it works. Man, you gotta be eager to get that PC. It's a much better monitor than I have. See, I went with a three monitor thing, so I got a TV here because they don't really make a 55-inch monitor that's not, extremely expensive, I'm sure. So I ended up with a TV that I use here as my, main thing, and then 2 monitors over here that are just, they're kind of on sale at the time. Nothing special. But I like multiple monitors, and buying 3 big monitors would be too expensive. Okay. Now this is the back plate, and it goes on this way. Like... Nice. I didn't know that the 14600K had the same performance as the 9600X's. I didn't know that. Wait, does this not go on here? I'm confused. Oh, I bet you this is also for the Intel. I wonder if we're still gonna need this back plate, because the one probably comes with the board is missing. As always, remove whatever was already attached for the... Okay, wait. Oh, I see. So it depends on the direction I want my... What is the back? Am I just going to use these tiny little nuts for the back? Oh boy. Well, the big one's 55 here. Yeah, the angle's weird, so it looks weird, but it goes... And then these over here are 27s or something. Let's see here. Okay, so he wants me to put this has to go on the front. And then which way do we want the... I don't need this anymore. Fans probably take the most time. Are you building it, or are you having someone else build it? Are you actually gonna like put all of it together yourself? Yeah, this got to be 27. I think it is. It's not 30. It's not 30 plus. Okay, which side is up and which side is down? Because they're different. This doesn't help. Which orientation do we want? I don't know if it matters really. Not that way, because it'll get in the way of the... And not... I think we want it this way. Oof, that's going to be close. We do. This is pretty low RAM. This is things to think about that you might not... That might not come up in like a search. Make sure that your cooler... I guess you're using an AIO, so it's not so bad, but... Gotta make sure. Green is backwards? No, that was right. Gotta make sure that your cooler clears the RAM, because sometimes some of the RAM is super tall nowadays, especially like the RGB stuff. So you just gotta make sure that you got enough clearance here. So we're going to put this on this way. We could do it this way. If we do it this way, well, that's going to be tight for the GPU. I mean, it should still fit. I had a different GPU somewhere that I could have brought out for this, but I think I threw it in the closet. Yeah. If I do it this way, it's going to be tight on the GPU. If I do it this way... Yeah, nowhere near the GPU. There's not going to be anything up here in the way, so that's not a big deal. We probably should have put this cable, though, going the other way. Not this way. I want it to come... So I need it to go all the way around here and over. Is that it long enough? I guess it's long enough. I don't like that. Slide it through this tiny little crack here. Get it over to the other side. Maybe I can just pass it through. I cannot. How did they attach this thing? With these screws? And that screw doesn't line up with that. How the hell is this fan attached? This is on the wrong side, though. That's my main complaint right now. Okay. Where's my screwdriver? Ugh. Come on. Yeah, I think it was designed specifically for the ITX boards, and almost certainly for that Fractal Terra build, because that thing blew up online. Like so many YouTube channels had it playing. So like I think it's perfect for that. And it almost seemed like they designed it to specifically fit into the way that thing is designed. But this is perfect for here because I looked for a bunch of different coolers. Every single one of them was too tall for this case. The only thing that would fit in here is the more like standard you know, like default standard kind of cooler, and it just didn't feel like as much fun, especially when it's like, well, I don't want to spend another $20 on something standard. If I'm going to spend $20 on something, $30 on, I think these cost $40. If I'm going to spend $40 on something, it should be a little more fun, you know? Come on. What is going on here? How am I going to get this out of here? I can take this stupid thing off. Maybe if I just take the one side off, we can slip it out. Take them all off and hopefully it doesn't fall apart on us. The reason I have to take it apart is because the CPU cable is too short to reach the CPU fan control if it goes that way around the well, shit, now I can just put the thing on however I want. Just put it on this way. The way that makes sense. You know, where the cable is next to the thing instead of all the way over on the other side. Do I want to do it that way for cable management purposes? I mean, it's right here now, and I got all this extra cable. If I do it the other way, but instead come out the other side. Okay, so now it'll come out this side. That's okay, because that, I mean, we're not going to really see any cables, but it does kind of get some of this cable out of the way. By just putting it, yeah, let's just do that. That's fine. It's long enough, so that's not important. We're going to put it back on the way they had it, assuming they know what they're doing. The fan direction, because I don't know any better than they do, so hopefully they know better than me. I got a Fractal Terra on eBay for $100 used. A lot of the parts in the other build are also used parts. I didn't buy anything new for it, except I bought the same CPU as we're gonna put in this one and the same cooler. But that's partly because that's actually an ITX, or I don't know, they call it something else, SFX cooler, so it's smaller. The Fractal Terra is designed though for normal ATX style coolers, but the extra space that's going to give us in this and in Fractal Terra is going to be huge. It's going to be a huge help for us in the long term, so. But it doesn't. Okay, which end is supposed to go up and which end is supposed to go down? This has to go down. Right? And then these little guys go on the bottom. This is really... God, I don't think I've ever had to... I think the issue here is that it's anticipating that I have a back plate that would have come with this board to do what we need to do here. And I don't have that back plate because I bought the board used. But I think I have a back plate, right? Because this board, this is for the other. Yeah, this is for the Intel version. And this one is the used one, and I don't think I'm going to be able to use this because it doesn't have the screws I need, unless these little guys here will fit on here. Is the threading the same? It's coarse threaded. Oh, I see. This is coarse threaded, and this is fine threaded. This is coarse threaded or fine threaded? That's fine threaded. This has to go on the top. Okay. So then, is this fine or coarse threaded? Can I just use these little nuts that came with the other board? I can. All right. Well, we are going to use... We're going to put this back plate back on there. I have no idea. This doesn't look like what would come with the board, but maybe it did. Makes this a little trickier here, but all right. The whole hole am I supposed to put this in? Does this hole even fit in here? Oh, man. You think this is bad? Wait till we get to the goddamn case fans. That's an interesting situation, too. These are too big for these holes. God damn it. Can I just put these under there? Is that going to be too much metal? I think I have another back plate from another board somewhere. Let's go see. All right. We stole this from another board. I will have to buy an extra one of these from the internet to replace it on that other board. So we just happened to get lucky that I accidentally bought a board I didn't need. And hopefully I can resell that board when I buy the other plate. Shit. Alright. Course side down. You know, I'm going to take the... Oh, maybe I can go through the fan. All right. All right, bracket is on. Thank God. Did I ever take this off and check this? I think I did. Let's just take this off quick and just give it a gander. Looks good. All right. Make sure we line up the. In the case of AMD, there's a little triangle that you want to line up with the little triangle on the motherboards there, and it'll just drop right in and it closes down. I believe Intel. Oh, it's all right. Come and go as you need to. I'm just messing around. To be honest, it's not. You didn't miss much. It's mostly me fuddling around with a CPU fan bracket. Now we're going to put a little bit of stuff on there. Good blob right in the middle. Don't probably need... I'm just going to put a little blob here. And a little blob here. Just so we make sure we get the corners. You always put more on. You probably put more on than you need. So I probably already put more on than I needed. It's probably enough. I don't know. I feel like more is better than not enough. You know? Like, I don't know how much you need to put on. I feel like if I don't put enough on, then that's not good, right? Ah, make a mess like always. This isn't the fanciest stuff. I can tell already. It's just probably the silver everyday stuff that they give out, which is fine. There's better stuff nowadays, but we're not overclocking. We're not doing any of that. Make sure you take the sticker off. This one's nice in that it was a big white sticker on the bottom of this. But sometimes they literally just put a piece of plastic on here. And and you can forget to take it off. And yeah. I mean, then your cooler's not doing anything. Line this up just right. My extender. Hopefully I can reach inside of here. AFCON, huh? The African Cup of Nations. Nice. It's 0-0 in the final? Oh. Tough battle. Are you just going to let me through the fan, or do I have to take the fan off? There we go. Okay, then just put the fan on evenly. Come on, let me through the fan. Come on, fan, get out of the way. Lined up there. See it. Okay, I'm gonna take the thing out of here. Oh, come on, fan. Get out of the way. So this AFCON, is this soccer then? This is beyond obviously the trophy and the cup and the bragging rights for the next, you know, year or so. Does this have any like implications on the World Cup or anything? Like, do you need to win this to get in? Not really a soccer guy. I'm American. You know, we don't know too much about football, as I'm sure you would call it. Ah, damn it. Come on. Yeah. Manhandle this damn thing. Okay. Tighten down the other side. The fan lets me through. No. we're on there. Should probably tighten all these down. I guess tighten these two down. So. As long as we got good contact and we squeezed enough juices out of the thing to make sure that I covered the whole thing. Good. Okay, now we're going to pull this around and underneath here. We're going to plug it in the CPU fan port. Perfect. So we don't get in the, and maybe we can tuck it around the front here, around this cooler. There we go. That's out of the way. Okay. Cable management. Are you Senegal or are you Morocco? Because looks like it's 1-0 now. You're either going to be happy or sad. All right, now RAM. Okay. Is there any way to know which of these four are pairs? These two are pairs. Their serial numbers are one right after the other. Okay. And then are these two pairs? Yes. Perfect. Okay, good. So if you can put them next to each other with the same pairing of numbers, that's good. I don't know how relevant it is, but it is relevant. The goal is to match the RAM to its pair and to the other ones as closely as you possibly can. And RAM comes in pairs, and you have four things. This one's great because it's got black, gray, so you want to put the black RAM together and the black RAM together. Oh boy. I got it out of there, so I must be able to get it back in there. I would not be able to do this with taller RAM. Oh no. I have to undo the screw. At least partially. To give me enough clearance to sneak this around. There we go. There we go. And now we can tighten it back down. I feel you, man. It's tough to do the weight. It's tough. Okay, wait. A nice soft surface is good to do this on too. This is basically a giant mouse pad. And that's good because the motherboard is covered in all these little sharp pointy things that you don't really want to break off. So a nice surface for that is good. Alright, did I 37, 38, 44. So this is the pairing of that one. So let's put this in the gray slot then. Oop. What's going on here? And then this one. And then this one. Perfect. All right, so we got the CPU, the cooler, the RAM, the SSDs in place. I think that's everything for the motherboard right now. So now we're going to flip to the case. And we are going to put in a bunch of stupid fans, which is going to be very fun to see, I'm sure. It's going to be great content. I think this goes in here too. Must have came out. Oh, that was the cap for that. Okay. I have that. This stuff we'll put with the other fan. This goes here. This is for this. This goes in here. Okay. We should actually put all that in here too, so we don't lose it. Over there on the floor. All right, now we gotta flip these two things. So let's bring the case over here. We'll put these two boxes. Those are empty. Put the motherboard on top of there. Out of the way, so we can work on this guy. Get him in place. Ugh, all these little pieces. Like a box or a jar for this stuff. There for now. Okay. Now, where is my screwdriver? Where is my super suit? I need to figure out is how to get Twitch, well, how to get OBS or Twitch to give me like notifications through my headphones when someone talks or posts. I need to figure that out. That would be very helpful. Oh, and we can do that too while we're doing this. Okay. That'll be at least something a little bit more interesting than just the fans. Well, these two fans we got to do after we put the motherboard in, because they go on top of the motherboard. So those big chunks. All right, so we'll just talk about it quick because I got these big guys. They're like server fans. They're nice and thick. They're 80 millimeters. They're gonna go right here on the back panel. But first I got to put the motherboard in because the motherboard goes right underneath them here. So I can't put these in until I could, but it'll be easier to put them on. It'll be easier to put the motherboard in after, before I put those in. So, but we can do these. We need to put these in first too. So, let's do that. First, we're gonna take off the little tray here that holds the disk drive and the other hard drives. We are going to put a disk drive in this. I put a disk drive in my computer like 10 years ago, and I never used it, but I have it over here. So we're going to put that in at the end and see if it works. It was opening and closing when I took it out of the other computer, but I have no idea if it actually does anything, or if it's still working, or if it's broken. I have no idea. All right, so we got just Arctic black fans. That is pretty good. That is pretty good for a 5070, I think. Especially in today's world. It's only going up from here. So the prices are not staying where they are right now, I'll tell you that much. They're only going to get more expensive over the short term. Okay, take this off. So we got two different fans here. We got two thinner, normal-sized ones, 120 millimeters. With fans, they blow the direction of this, like this side. Unless they're reverse fans, then they blow the other way. But standard fan, they're gonna blow towards the bracket. So that's useful to know. Yes, I think that is a pretty good deal. I can't copy out of. All right. Depending on the country you're in, it could be a huge deal. I don't trust that this exists, because like, well, this is Best Buy, so this is in America here. Best Buy, $1,300. So like, B&H is $1039.99. So like, depending on the country you're in and everything, the prices could be all over the place. But yeah, Best Buy's got it for $1,300 right now. This Walmart things I don't trust. Because here's this one, they're selling it for over $1,000. I don't trust these Walmart ones. Walmart doesn't do a very good job of making sure their products actually exist. Yeah, I mean that the type of them is tough to know, right? Like, I have my preference, but at the same time, they're all kind of, especially NVIDIA, they all use a lot of the same parts for NVIDIA, at least up until now. I mean, future ones won't, but NVIDIA, like, basically just shares its, basically just gives kits to all of the builders. So all of their parts are basically all the same, you know? There's some manufacturing difference between them, but, like, the parts are almost all the same for all their cards. So there's very little difference from one brand to the next. Now that's going to change significantly because NVIDIA is no longer providing kits to the people, to the builders, because of AI infrastructure buildouts. So they're no longer going to be able to just, you know, get a kit from somebody and call it good. Where's the end of this thing? Did I do this wrong? Oh yeah, I did do it wrong. Okay. So we're going to do it this way. I need this to reach just right here in front. That should be okay. That should be enough. Okay. Actually, before I do that, let's see if I have open packages in here that I can use first. I have a bunch of this crap. So I could use some loose parts first. That would be great. Oh, they're silver. Oh, there's a black one. There's one black one. There's got to be at least a couple. How do I only have 3? How's there not a 4th one? Oh, there it is. Okay, that's probably all that's in there, though. So we can do one fan. Spin this thing. So I can get leverage. So these are intake fans. What we want is we want as much air to blow into the case as we can so that we can create positive pressure on the inside of the case. Positive pressure on the inside of the case means that, like, all these little cracks in the edges and everything, air will seep out of those which means that dust won't go in. So the more positive pressure we can have on the inside, the less dust will get inside the case. And that was another big problem with my previous build inside of here, because it just got so dusty. I did not have enough fans to keep it from getting dusty. Okay, now we're going to have to open up one of these packages because I don't have any more of these screws loose. Everything comes in little pieces of plastic. It's insane. Now, shoot. Put the fan in backwards. Ugh. What a joke. Didn't even listen to my own advice. This case is a Silverstone. I gotta look it up. I always gotta look it up. I do not suggest it unless you have a very unless you're building a. Well, one, it's designed that it can go into a server rack. It's got like things here that like allow you to attach rails to it and put it in a server rack. So you can do that with it, or it's used as a HTPC, so like a computer for under a TV kind of thing, like in a. Let's see here. We want yeah. So it usually shows up as one of like the first cases. It is a it's right here. Like they still sell it in different forms. I don't think they probably sell this very specific one anymore, but well, maybe they do. I mean, it's right here. It looks like I can buy it at Micro Center, and it looks like it's on Newegg. But it is a Silverstone ATX mini tower computer case. I don't know if it's a GD09. Looks like there's also a GD09B. This might be the B. I can't remember which one it was. like I said, it's from, I bought it 10 years ago. So that's basically what it looks like. So they've just been making that the same case for years. But yeah, like I said, I had it's fine as a case. Not great if you're trying to do. Not good if you're trying to do like too much heavy gaming or anything in it, because it does get hot. That was my biggest problem with it. And it's limited on. It does have limited fans. It only is really going to have like 2 fans or 3 fans here, plus these 2 little guys in the back, and those will be exhaust. So it only really has 3 intake fans, because this one's dedicated to the power supply. So there really are only the 3 intake fans, which significantly limits it. Plus the cover, the top here, doesn't have any. It doesn't have very good ventilation itself. It just has this, which is almost basically dedicated, and you can't attach any fans to it. There's no way to attach a fan here, but that's basically dedicated to the GPU, because it's right over the here, so it's right over the PCIe slots. So it's limited, which is why I'm putting two big fans here. These are Arctic. Oh, I should say these are Arctic P12s. They push 77 CFMs or whatever. So those are going to be solid. This is a Arctic S12. So those are P12s. This is an S12. So they're the 12 just means the size, or 100. In this case, it's an S120. Those are P12s, but that just means it's 120 millimeters from, here to here. But this will push about I think these were 77, and this is 100 and something CFM. That's what we want. We want to blow as much air into the case as we can. That's our goal with these. But this one's nice and thick. You can see how much thicker this is than these. It's about twice as thick as these 2 were. So, but that one's going to go over there. And hopefully this one fits over there. Hopefully it fits without getting in the way of the PSU. I think it will, because the PSU is actually small, so it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, I could see you finding this case in like a computer lab or something like that too. Like in a lab somewhere. Okay, so for this I just need the cord to reach a short distance, so this will be fine like this. Another package of these little screws. Hopefully the motherboard works, You buy used stuff. You just never know. I do have a backup motherboard for this little project if I have to. But I hope I don't have to. I don't know what I'm going to do with that other motherboard, but hopefully I can resell it or something. Alright, good. We got a bot on Twitch trying to send us to some website. It does have good filters on it. I will say that about the case. All of these are filtered. So like they're nice, easy filters that just pop right off. You can just wash them right out. That's good. Not all fan cases have filtered covers for the fans. So then you're blowing the dust directly into the case, which is not ideal at all. You really don't want that. I've seen people make filters. It's a little risky, but you just don't want the dust in there, you know? Alright, so fans are in. Let's do the PSU, because that's going to be the next thing. And then we'll do the motherboard. Come on. Where the hell's the... Oh, it's like that. It opens out from over here. That's weird. Where'd the cap go? Can this be capped? Not get sticky shit all over the place. Thank you for your purchase. You're welcome, Leon Lee. I do like when they do a good presentation with all the stuff. Okay, that's the power cable. Don't need that right now. Good foam. Good packaging is always a good sign. Is this supposed to be for cable management? I don't know, those are weird little pieces of plastic. Zip ties. Always useful. Oh, I like the bag. Oh. I mean, it's different. This is different than normally, right? When you get this, I get like a hard bag. And this, they gave me like a satchel. It's like a soft bag, but it feels nice. I'll tell you that. I like the feel of it, but normally they give you like a hard bag for the cables. But that I then put in a box and never look at again, because once I use the 5 cables I need, I don't need any more. Oh boy, what do we have here? There's a lot of weird cables. If they don't have what we need, we can always go grab more. I like them. They're not really. Are they braided, or did they just put? They're not really. They look braided, like each individual cable, but I think they just put like ridges on all the plastic, which, to me, that might actually cost. That would probably cost more than just putting it inside of a cabled tubing. I guess it's less material, but it feels like it would cost more to do that to every single one of these cables than to just put a wrap around it all. So that's interesting. What the hell's this? Well, I guess that's if I need it. I don't need it. That's just an extender if I need it. Because I assume that these guys often get put deep inside of computers somewhere. But look at how small this guy is. And it's 1,000 watts. Like I have another here. Let me just get a. I'm gonna go get my other PSU that I just took out of another case. Just because I want to show the size. So I just took this 1,000 watt, 80 plus gold, out of another build. It was actually another fractal case. Look at the size difference between. Look at the size difference between these two things. Both of them are 1,000 watts. That's crazy. This is very important for my ITX build. This would never fit in that other case, in the Fractal Terra case, and it doesn't fit in here either. I thought about using it in here, but it's too long for this fan. It hits up against the fan, and then I can't put the. It's too long for the fan here, so. But this is, what PSUs would have looked like 5-6 years ago. Does this have a date on it? I mean, you could still get them this big. I'm sure they're out there. But I don't think they're quite as big as this anymore, in general. But to be fair, it is 1,000. My other one was only like 7,500 or 750 or whatever. That wasn't quite as big. It only went to about halfway. Anyway, so here's the hoping that this is good. The size does concern me, obviously, but if it can do 1,000 watts, that's way more than I need for this computer. It's probably more than anyone needs for any of their computers, really. Hopefully computers keep getting more efficient, because the wattage is getting out of control. Okay. So for this, I need to put... But it is an SFX box, and not an ATX, which means that it doesn't just fit this hole, so we have a bracket for it. And it's just going to kind of hang in there. Which way this bracket goes, I am not 100% sure. Probably like this, huh? So that the... Yeah, because otherwise it's going to hit the thing. So it's going to have to go like this. Okay, so we got to find the bag of screws. I hope these little plastic things are supposed to do something. I hope not. That would suck. Here we go. They're in here with the... No, those are the ones... Those are not the ones I need for this, I don't think. Maybe it is. Let's see if it says that if there's screws or if I have to just use those. Sometimes things are expected to come with a case, sometimes they're expected to come with the item. only problem here with the Lian Li is that there's not very much English. So, there's no pictures with the screws. 4 case screws. Alright. Well, I have a bunch of case screws, so hopefully we can pull enough out to cover everything. Because those are the ones for the big thing. Yeah, they didn't give me any to attach to here, though. That's weird. What do we have here? Do we have enough of these? Even better if I could use these nice flush ones. Beautiful. Okay, do we have enough of them to do the whole thing? Left over from old builds, old cases, old whatevers. Now, to attach it to the case. Oop. Ah, shit. No. I need 3 more of these. Let's see if we have 3 more of those left to pull up the other.
Yeah. Do we have any more of those screws? If not, it's okay. I think we put enough in.
Magnets. Alright, so we got that little power supply in, but look at how much room that gives us to work in here. Look at that. That is so much space. It's gonna make this so easy. Like, I can't even explain. Like, the difference here. Did I put it on correctly? I almost put it on the wrong way. You want the fan to blow out, obviously. But I almost thought I could get it. I wonder if I get another fan in there. No, it's too tight. That's too tight. I can't fit another fan in there. That's too bad. Maybe I could get a slim fan and stick it in there. But look at how much more room we're going to get to work in there. Like, my last PSU in this case was at least like this long, and these things, the cables came right up into it, you know. But look at all that. There's gonna be plenty of room for these cables to bend. That's gonna be great. Very useful. Potentially even worth the cost difference in my own sanity. Okay, we'll come back to all this stuff in a minute. Now, we need to put the motherboard into the case. So now we're going to put the motherboard in the case. All right. So with that, take this big old motherboard. Oh shit, we need the I/O shield. Depending on the motherboard you buy, ones from even just a few years ago might have the I/O shield completely separate like this is. And some might, nowadays they're more or less just built right on there. They don't even come off. Also, this is dumb. This is just plastic. It's not a heat sink. It's nothing. It's just sitting on there. It's kind of annoying if you ask me. Let's make sure I put it on this correctly though. Okay, this way. So I/O shield just pops in here. If I can get it to line up. I have to stand up for this. What the heck? There we go. I'm gonna go too far with it. Just get it to just the right spot there. Okay. That was more work than it needed to be. And now, this is actually one of the few things that this case is useful for, is that it's nice and easy
Oh, what I was gonna do before I put this in. I was going to run. I don't need that cord ever. Might need that cord. We'll need that cord. That's nope. We don't need that. Where's the CPU one? All right, the CPU cord. Oh, this has a. Do I have a second? So we could run how many things do we got here? So how many CPU? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. We're gonna need at least 2 for that, so we can use the other 2 for the CPU. So we can put both the CPU cords in. You only really need, so to power the CPU, it's got 2 little ports right up here. You only ever really need to hook in the one. The second one, here is for overclocking. So if you're never going to overclock your CPU, this is going the second port here. You can see it this way, right? You can see there's one there, the big 8 one, that you need to plug in. The second one's in this case it's 4, but in some cases it's its own 8. Like on this other motherboard on my main computer, it's 8. You only ever need to really plug that in if you're planning to overclock it, or if you just want to, more power isn't going to hurt it. So, these are going to barely be long enough. We're going to have to go underneath the board like this, 'cause otherwise it's not going to reach. This is going to be a requirement that we do it this way. I thought I was just going to do this because of my own vanity, but we're going to have to do it because these are short cords because of the SFX thing. Okay. Well, we're going to put these in the bottom ports. That's the CPU end. This is the PSU end. And we're going to try and run these along the bottom of the board and come back up over here and plug them in so they're out of the way. We're going to have to cut this though. We're going to have to cut these zip ties so we can fit them along the bottom under there. I have a pair of scissors somewhere here. And I had an X-Acto knife too. And now both have abandoned me. These are the scissors I was looking for, but I don't know what happened to my X-Acto knife. Don't mess up the plastic. Okay, there we go. We're going to flatten these out down here. We can lay them under the motherboard. I wonder if that's, these things could be helpful in this. They gave me these little plastic things. I don't know what they're for. But maybe we can use them somehow here. Are they shorter than the standoffs? They are shorter than the standoffs. I wonder if there's some way I can use them to lay these out in a controlled manner. I wonder if that's just what these are supposed to be for. I don't know if that's these are for, but that's what I'm gonna use them for. All of these are lined up. It should be all of those. The other ones, okay. This is going to be trickier than I thought. This might be the trickiest part so far. If I attach them first, then set it in there.
least they will be sort of. Oh boy, they're not long enough to do this. Alright, well, it's not the craziest thing ever done, but it's a little crazy. Okay. Well, I wonder if that's what I was supposed to use in the standoff screws. Uh-oh. And now do I need to take these screws out? Because I need to use them here. No, those are too
guinea for those there. Okay. Sort of these are what I need to use in here, but I could be wrong. Yeah. But I don't have enough of those. I hope this doesn't put too much stress on here. I need more of these screws. There's one more. Where's my extender? Nice. Hopefully that port works for hopefully that port works for the fans, because that, if so, that would be beautiful. We need a few more motherboard screws. They might be in that other box. There's an unnecessary standoff. Oh, shit. These won't work, will they? I can't use these, can I? small, aren't they? Yeah, those are too small. How am I doing? I need 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 4 more. Let's see. Oh, where's that box? Is it up here? Well, we can steal these for now until I find more of them. One of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they'll all match. All right. I got these used 3 terabyte hard drives that I think work. We're gonna put them in here because I don't really have anywhere else to put them anyway, so we might as well put them in here. It's a little more complicated because they gotta go down here somehow. Does it just float in here? There's no screw holes. Supposed to push holes out? I think it just floats in there. Alright, well. It's gotta go this way, right? Slides in. Go to the other side, I can just. I guess pressure just holds it in there. Pressure and a little couple screws. Hold it in place. Alright. Alright, we need a few. Are those what these little? Maybe that's what the little black ones are from. Do these do that? Where'd my screwdriver go now? No, I'm gonna need. These are usually little flathead ones. These guys. Need 3 of these little guys. Oh, these aren't going to be long enough for what? Well, I can't get much longer because if they get longer, they're going to be in the way of the They gotta be flat. I think that's what normally goes in here, right? I feel like this is going to get in the way. Well, maybe not. There's a bump here. So maybe it won't. It'll be okay, I guess. Okay. This one goes on the other thing. We'll get back to that. And there's one hard drive that I don't really need, but I've plugged in anyway. And this is power. Power for the motherboard. Ooh, I hope this one's long enough. No, that should be okay. It's going to be a little tight, but it should be okay. As long as the come on. What the heck? Don't fall off, that would be a mess. Well, if we end up needing longer one of these because it won't fit around the thing, we can get one. That's not a problem. Oh, I should get the SATA cable real quick. Grab that real quick. Well, I guess these are the three. Let's see the cables I have. Thought I had another one of these black ones. I don't want to use this blue one. I don't think the blue one works very well. Oh, that's the audio. Okay, it usually goes somewhere over there. This all goes somewhere over there. This goes right here. So let's get that plugged in. It goes that way. Okay. Well, it's in there, I guess. Okay, well, hopefully that ends up out of the way. Because we could have gone around the hard drive. Because the hard drive wasn't there before, huh? It's gonna float low though. Put that other thing in. Ooh, I wonder if that's gonna be in the way for that. Ooh, that could really mess this up. No. The internet lied to me. It said this would fit in here. No. Well, congratulations on winning the AFCON. I can't put my disk drive in. The cooler is in the way. Cooler is too tall for this bracket. It's not even by a little bit. It's like a 1/2 inch. I doubt changing this in any way really helps. I could rotate this. That might save me a little bit of space. But I don't know how much. This is a lot. How much would that save me? Would it be even close? Where's my tape measure? I had it here. about 1.25 inches. And going this way, this way, it's about 1.5 inches. So the question is that 1/2 inch all I need? I don't think it is. Oh, it's so damn close. So I think I need 3/4 of an inch, not 1/2 inch. So, well, we put one of the hard drives in here. We won't be able to put the other one in if I break this. Alright, we gotta think about this for a minute. I can bend this up and out of the way. And then it just won't be on there. It won't be in my way anymore. But I won't be able to put the disk drive in here either. Or the hard disk in here. I'll still be able to put the disk drive in though then. This is a bracket that holds both a hard disk underneath as well as a disk drive, which this isn't that important, but I have it, you know, so that it would go in the front here. And then it sits on here. And the issue is this right here hits the cooler. And I don't think there's enough space I don't know if you can see it at all, but it's the cooler. So I can't fit it in there. I could bend this piece out flat, then it won't be in the way. But then I can't put this hard disk in here, which isn't that important. I guess I don't need that many terabytes of anything. Because now, voila, it fits. Because I bent it out. But it won't fit the hard drive anymore. I mean, I could theoretically put one in there, but I don't know if it'll hold, if these 3 screws is enough to hold it from falling out, you know? Because I could put this in here. Does it have top screws? If I put it this way, does it have top screws? Maybe I could put top screws in it. Instead of the side screws. Does this hit the... That would hit the cooler too, though. Wouldn't it? Yeah, that hits the cooler too, so I can't use this at all, no matter what. Well, I got one in. I didn't even know that was in there before. Why is the motherboard laying flat? Because the motherboard lays down on the bottom. It lays on the bottom of this case. So like that's normally the motherboard would be on the back wall of the case. So that's kind of like the back wall of the case. So it would really be, I mean, normally this, like a normal tower case would be like this. Right? That's what a normal tower case would be like. But this one lays on its back. But we bent it so it'll fit in here out of the way of the thing. Although that looks a little weird. Why does that look so weird? Is it loose? I mean, I could pick it up from there. No, it's not loose. It's on there pretty solid. I don't know. Seems fine. Whatever. Okay, so that's the ear in. We got power cable. We got the front USB 3.0 ports. I guess I don't have to worry about those anymore. I thought that was going to be in the way, but without putting that hard drive in, that won't be in the way anymore either, I guess. So solve that little problem. Let's see. We're going to need to put those two fans in. But before that, we need to find... Where's the audio cable? We need to find the port for the front audio cable. You know, I have a better flashlight. Alright, that was easy. And now for the tricky part. So depending on your case, yeah, it lays down. This is how it's going to sit, right? Just like this. Right? It's got Silverstone written right there. It's going to sit like this. The disk drive's right here. So now, depending on your case, you're going to have a bunch of different stupid things. This is for the front power button and the lights and stuff for the power. And you got to figure out... it's all going to look like one port in here. But you got to figure out which pin or two pins each one of these little guys sits on the one port there. If you have a newer case, you might get lucky and they might give you one that it just has all of them in one big setup. But at a certain point, there must have been a bunch of cases that have different things. So now I have to go to the manual and find the layout here. And then they all have little tiny writing on here. And you gotta match the writing on here with the manual, which you probably can't see because it's probably all whited out because it's a white screen and the camera can't see it. And plug these in their proper spots. And if I don't do this, this is the power reset. So that goes on these two. And what's this one? This is the power switch. That goes on the two right across from that one. Hopefully I do it correctly. Did I do it wrong? Where's the writing supposed to go? I never know. I assume the writing goes this way. Power LED, the plus and the minus. So the plus goes. Let's scoot these around. It doesn't matter. The plus and the minus go here. And the HDD LED goes here. All right. Speaker. Okay, so I think I got them all. All right. So make sure you do that correctly because depending on the case you have, you're going to have different buttons there. And yeah, if you plug them into the wrong ones, it might just not turn on or it might do other weird stuff. You can also just like... Yeah, it can be confusing because it's just a chart of like literally a bunch of random pins. And well, I guess I only need 2 of these now, so that's good. I guess I don't need to get a third one. So I was going to have to hook up that other hard drive, but that's on the side. Oh, this doesn't help. Come on. Let's just go the other way. this one. Okay, I'll need that later. Alright, so we got the power for the board. We got... Oh, we got to plug this fan in. Which one do I want? Chassis fan too, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Come on. What are we doing here? Cooperate. Okay, now we need power for the SATA drives. No, 1, 2, 3. Is there one with 2 of them? No, these are easy to get to. We'll plug those in when we get the. We'll plug those in when we get the GPU. Don't worry about those today. Come on, go in there. Should plug this in earlier. Don't turn off the... Come on. Why don't you go in there? It's the right way. Not too low. There it goes. All right. I don't know if you're going to have SATA ports or anything. Oh, I didn't say yet what's going in this one. I have a the 7900 XTX is going into the Terafractal build, which hopefully that isn't as much stuff. Isn't as much of a pain in the butt. That only has room for like one case fan and stuff, so there's going to be a lot less going on in that one. But in this one, I have a 5700 XT. that I ordered used. That's what's going to go in here. But we're not going to be able to put it in today because it's still in the mail. But once we get it, we'll put that in. And then I can't do any BIOS or anything because the 5700X3D CPU doesn't have integrated graphics. So there's no way to get to the BIOS or anything like that today. So we have to wait till we have the GPU to do that. But that's okay because we'll be able to split this up a little. We've already been doing this for a while, so we'll be able to split this up into a couple of efforts, a couple of days, so I don't have to do it all at once. Which is okay. Okay, what's left to put in here before I forget? Those fans, those two big old fans in the back here. These come with SATA power connectors. I don't know if they need it or not. I hope they don't. Because I don't want to plug them in if I don't have to. I don't want to have to run that across the whole from one side of the computer to the other if I don't have to, you know? So, here's hoping to not having to do that. Okay, I need more these stupid little screws. Is there 8 of them in here? There's more than 8 of them in here. Here's 4. Are there 4 in another one? There's 4. Okay. I think this is what I need for these fans, right? Yeah, they're just the same as the other ones. Nothing weird. Yeah, just gotta wait it out. It is in the mail. I did get tracking for it, so it should be... Oh no! This fan doesn't fit here. Because it's too fat for this other fan. Oh man. I doubt there's any way I can even move this over a little, because it's not that much. Well, I guess we're only going to put 1 in here. That's okay. These are exhausts, so it's not as important. But I do have a unnecessary 80 millimeter fan now I'm just sitting here that I won't have any use for, because it's a rare situation that I would need this type of like server fan, this type of mini fan for anything. But that's okay, I guess. I don't think there's any way I could move this over, because that is those are set screw holes. Those are just where those are going to be. These two little fans, even though they're tiny, they push a ton of air based on what it said online. So, but they're exhaust fans. We're using them exhaust to push hot air out. So, they're not as essential as the intake fans here, right, to get the cold air in. So those fans will get the cold air in, then passively a lot of the hot air will just leave through the vents because of pressure. But this will help the CPU because it'll pull the hot air right off that CPU radiator. It'll pull the hot air right off the CPU radiator right out. So this one fan will be good. Just now I'm gonna have an extra fan that I have absolutely no use for. And these were not cheap fans. These little buggers. Not a cheap fan. Maybe I can return it. Bought it new. If I bought it on Amazon, maybe they'll take it back. We'll have to see. Okay. So, now we need to put this guy on its bracket. Well, let's put the bracket. Let's see where does this go on this bracket? Where the hell are the lines? Where the hell are the holes? There, the front holes. On the front holes. Right, like that. Does this one use these little guys? What do I have all these little tiny screws for if it's not for any of this stuff? There we go. That's what the little tiny screws are for. We are going to plug it in though and turn it on and at least see if all the fans do stuff. We are going to do that yet today because we'll need to do that or we'll have to redo the whole thing. So These cables. Oh my god. And then... oh yeah, we'll have to switch these. Let's put this one over here. There's the... one thing about this case, cable management does not matter because the cables are just going to go wherever. They're just going to go wherever they want because it doesn't matter. Don't have to see it. There's no glass on it. Nothing. So we're just going to put the cables wherever we want and not worry about it. Okay, so I think we got it all powered. We got the CPU powered. We'll get the GPU powered next time. We got the fans all plugged in. Those two are plugged in. This one's plugged in. This one's plugged in. Power supply is connected everywhere. Peripherals are plugged in, and those are getting power. This guy's smushed in here more than I want it to be, but that'll have to do. I'm gonna put this back on, which is kind of a struggle with this case. That's what it is. Frankenstein PC. That's right. Link Hunter on Twitch. I'm on live both on Twitch and YouTube, so I do see both chats, but just so you guys know. If it's not working on Twitch, I'm sorry, because if the stream's not working, the image isn't working, because it was telling me that there was too much bitrate or some nonsense. Whatever that means. I was giving him too much data. Okay. Brackets are back on. This is back on. Am I missing anything? Anything else that needs to go in here? Man, I'm so upset that the fan doesn't fit. That sucks. That is magnetic, and maybe I shouldn't put that next to that hard drive. Okay. God, I hope that I can use that fan header for those two fans. Hopefully I can use that CPU fan header. That second CPU fan header for that, because otherwise that's going to be a pain in the ass if I have to take all that apart. Hopefully this doesn't put too much stress on this. These cords should straighten themselves out, I think, in time. Hopefully they don't puncture through. once you put the GPU in here, it's going to be just as hard to get across the top up here as it is to go underneath the board there. Hopefully we don't cut open any of those wires and create a short circuit. Oh well. If I burn my house down, you guys will know why. It's because I put this CPU power underneath the motherboard, and then the motherboard pins popped a hole in the wire and created a short circuit, and lit my computer on fire and burned my house down. Alright. What does this say? Alright. I think I get a much better understanding of how OBS works with Twitch and YouTube, though, so that's good. That's the main point of all this right now, to be honest with you guys. I'm doing this just to figure out and learn how all this other stuff works. That's connected. The front ports, the ports are connected. The power is connected. Everything inside the case is plugged into something. So that's a good sign. There's nothing not plugged into anything. Is there anything I'm forgetting? I don't think so. Okay, so we are going to plug it in. Well, I had these. It's supposed to go on these fans. I don't think it would fit on that side, right? So should I put it on this side? Let's put this on quick, so that the wires don't accidentally fall into the fan and make a bunch of noise. And then we're going to plug it in and see if she at least turns on. That would be at least a good finish for today. Knowing that it gets power, and I guess I'm only going to be able to put these two screws in because I won't be able to get down to the lower screws. That's okay. I don't need to get down there. Should put this on before. Can't see the thing I'm trying to screw into. Yeah, that's good enough. I can't get to those other spots. Okay, so this can go over here. This can go in here. There. Where did I put the power cable? Here it is. Extension cord from the other room. plugged in. It's turned on in the back. No power. Oh no. Why don't we have any power? Did I do this wrong? Maybe I turned it off in the back. Haha! Can you guys hear the fans? Ooh, do they blow wind? Right now they're just gonna basically be at nearly full speed because I can't get into the BIOS right now to deal with them. So they're just running at full speed right now. CPU fan is on. That fan is on. That fan is on. This fan is on. Pushing air out the back. Nice. Solid. Alright, so we're getting power at least from the box to the board to the fans. So that is a good sign for the computer. Again, we'll have to finish the rest of the setup next time. So I'll probably be streaming again next Sunday. Same time, around the same time, maybe a little later. Depending, assuming I don't have anything. I don't think I have anything going on Sunday, so I don't think I'll. I don't know when the GPU is supposed to come in. I didn't look. Gets here when it gets here, I guess. It's not like I need it to survive, so not that worried about it. But once we get the GPU, then we can deal with the BIOS adjustments that we need to make to for sure the fans, so we can turn them down and turn on the gradiated speeds. They should all have gradiated speeds. If they don't, I'm gonna be really annoyed because I don't buy fans without that. Because I only buy fans that have ridiculously high power because I want things to be cool. Well, I know it'll come. I just don't know. When you buy on eBay, when you buy it from a random person, you just don't know when it's gonna get here. Exactly. And if you live in the United States, let's just say the mail service has gotten a little bit more awkward. Sometimes it comes from a couple of different places depending on where you're buying from. Sometimes it's Amazon dropping it off if you buy it on there. Sometimes it's USPS. So, and then it's just dependent on whether or not there's enough stuff coming to my area for them to decide to put it in that box and ship it. Maybe we could look up when it's coming. Let's see here. Either way, I'm probably not going to be able to stream it until at least Sunday anyway, so let's see if I can get the tracking info.
looks like it's going to be delivered Friday, January 23rd. So we won't have it till at least then, and then I can't do this on Saturday anyway. So next Sunday we'll finish this up. Besides, it'll take us a bunch of time to go through BIOS. I'll put up my other monitor here. Hopefully I can get it to work on I'll put up my standalone monitor and connect it up, and hopefully we can get that to show on the thing here. Again, like I said, I'm putting Bazite on it. It's going to operate as like a partial gaming, partial entertainment computer that's going to sit out under my TV in the other room. It's going to replace my old Xbox. I mostly do my gaming on Steam at this point, so there'll be some games that I'll put on it. The 5700 XT can do some things pretty well, and then the things that it doesn't do so well, we'll try to Steam Link. I'm going to try to Steam Link from this computer to this one in the other room. So we'll see how that goes. I haven't really done that before, like in this sort of way. I've done it on my phone, with Steam Link, and that works okay. But again, it's also a lot smaller screen than streaming it out to another television. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the plan for the computer. That's what I'm gonna use it for. I might set it up as a Jellyfin server for my media. That's why I put the disk drive back on it. I hope that the disk drive works. It opens and closes. I know that. Here, we can see if it still opens and closes. So the disk drive opens and closes, but it wasn't reading disks when it was in this computer, when it was in this box before, this case before. So I'm hoping that that was more of a driver issue or even a Windows issue, because who knows, it probably was. And I just gave up trying to... I wasn't using it, so it wasn't like I was going to put in that much effort to try to figure it out. So I'm hoping that different operating system, different drivers, and maybe that, maybe it'll just work. I don't have to either get a new one or put I have the plate here. I have the plastic cover, but you can put that on. I can put that on there if this absolutely doesn't work. But that's not a big deal. Whether it does or doesn't, I might just leave it on there, leave this in there if it doesn't work anyway, because who cares? Fills the hole. Yeah. But those fans are pushing so much more air than the fans that were in here before that I feel very confident that this will not overheat like my computer was before. I had to literally take the top off of this thing before. Like, it just literally sat in the corner of the room because it got so hot inside before I built my other computer. So, yeah, it got dusty, it got dirty in here, it got everything. I am hoping that doesn't happen, so we're just going to put the PCI ports in here for now. We'll put these cables in here so we know where they are. We'll put the cover back on this guy. Come join me again next Sunday, or look for the stream or at the very least the VOD will be up for a while on Twitch, and it'll be up forever on YouTube, I guess. I don't know what I do with my screwdriver now. But next time, we'll dick around with software, because the GPU won't take very long to plug in.
And Bazite should... It's an AMD, so... It's an AMD, but so it's a 5700 XT, so the GPU shouldn't take more than a few seconds to just be recognized. It'd start right up, and then we can put Bazite on it and see where we go from there. But I think we're done for today, guys. We'll have to follow up another time because it's, you know, not much else I can do today. We've done all the stuff we can, but we will put the other build together after that. There's still some parts missing for that one anyway, so couldn't do that one yet anyway. And then there might be a third one. I don't know. I have another case that doesn't have anything in it. I have another motherboard, but for that one I'd have to get another CPU. I don't know if I want to spend the money on another CPU, even a cheap CPU. Maybe we'll part that out to someone else who wants to build a PC.